Since the beginning of humanity, breathing has been more than just a biological process. It has always carried a deeper mystery, a power that goes beyond simply taking in oxygen. Ancient civilizations didn't just observe breathing, they used it as a tool to access altered states of consciousness, heal the body, and awaken hidden abilities. In India, yoga masters developed pranama, a set of techniques designed to channel prana, the vital energy of the universe. In China, practices like qigong and tai chi taught how to manipulate the flow of qi, using conscious breathing to harmonize the body and mind. In shamanic traditions, rhythmic breathing and hyperventilation were used in rituals to connect with spiritual realms, gain visions, and trigger healing processes. But why did so many different cultures, separated by time and distance, treat breathing as a gateway? What makes breathing so powerful? The truth is, breathing is not just an automatic reflex. It's a code, a hidden mechanism that, when used correctly, can change our mental states, release repressed emotions, and even alter how we perceive reality. Breathing is the bridge between the physical and the subtle, between the body and the mind. Welcome to the limitless brain, a place between the conscious and unconscious mind. Modern science now confirms what ancient cultures already knew. The way we breathe directly affects the brain and nervous system. Deep, conscious breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for relaxation, healing, and mental clarity. In other words, breathing can instantly shift your emotional state. The rhythm, depth, and consistency of your breath directly influence the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which create feelings of calm and well-being. Diaphragmatic breathing, for example, can slow your heart rate, lower blood pressure, and induce deep relaxation. On the other hand, short, shallow breathing, often present in states of stress and anxiety, keeps the body on high alert, drains energy, tightens muscles, and prevents the mind from thinking clearly. But breathing's effects go even deeper. It can change brain patterns. Research shows that certain breathing rhythms can modulate brain waves, helping you access states like alpha, relaxation and creativity, and theta, deep meditation and heightened intuition. It's as if each breathing pattern activates a different frequency in your mind, allowing you to function at a higher level. Once you become aware of your breath, something shifts. You move from operating on autopilot to being fully present in the moment. Suddenly, an inner space opens up, a space filled with more silence, clarity, and awareness. This space can be the starting point for profound transformations, unexpected insights, and intuitive connections that once seemed unreachable. Small pauses between breaths can become portals to something much greater. Now, think about this. If breathing, something so simple, always with us, from the moment we're born to the very last second of life, holds such power, why haven't most people figured out how to use it to tap into the full potential of the mind? The reason is simple. No one taught us. We've been conditioned to believe that control, clarity, and change come from outside sources. Things like technology, medication, distractions, and endless information. But the truth is, the most powerful tool we've always had is inside us: breathing. The problem is, most of us are disconnected from it. We go through life on autopilot, breathing shallowly and irregularly, unaware that when we take control of our breath, it can change everything. When you take charge of your breath, you take charge of your nervous system. You start to control emotions that once felt out of control. Your thoughts slow down, your heartbeat stabilizes, and your perception broadens. You enter a state of presence so deep that daily worries lose their grip, and clarity begins to emerge. This isn't just a theory. It's science. When we breathe slowly and rhythmically, it activates the vagus nerve, a key part of the autonomic nervous system. This helps calm the body's fight-or-flight response and puts us in a state of balance and receptivity. Now, imagine if you could access that state whenever you needed it. What if, instead of being overwhelmed by stress and anxiety, you could train your body to quickly slip into a calm, focused state? This is exactly what spiritual masters, monks, elite athletes, and brilliant artists have learned to do. Breathing is one of the few physical processes we can consciously control, and that's what makes it so powerful. We can speed up our breathing to generate energy, slow it down to relax, and adjust its rhythm to enter a meditative state. This conscious control of breath is what allows us to essentially hack the brain. And it's not just about relaxation. Breathing also triggers specific hormones and helps control blood flow to different parts of the brain. Techniques like cyclical breathing and breath retention can even release dimethyltryptamine, DMT, a compound linked to mystical experiences and expanded states of consciousness. This is why many spiritual practices use breathing techniques to access altered dimensions of perception. Breathing isn't just about oxygen going in and out. It's a way to expand the mind. When you breathe intentionally, you create space for new things to emerge. You create a vacuum inside yourself, a place where thoughts slow down, and more subtle perceptions begin to appear. In that space, the rational mind doesn't have total control anymore. And that's when insights, intuitions, and experiences that defy logic can happen. It's no coincidence that many inventors and creative people say their best ideas come when they're relaxed, breathing deeply, and letting their mind work without resistance. Imagine what could happen if you started practicing this skill, using breathing as a real tool to change your mental state whenever you need to. What if you could tap into a potential that most people don't even know they have? The truth is, there's a hidden power in the brain that you can only unlock once you learn to breathe properly. Let's explore how breathing can affect brain waves, unlock intuitive abilities, and rewire mental patterns. If you feel there's something more inside of you, some untapped potential or ability waiting to be awakened, then maybe the answer isn't in looking for something outside of you. Maybe it's always been in how you breathe every moment of your life. For years, breathing science has been exploring what happens in our brain when we breathe properly, and the discoveries could change everything you thought was possible. The human brain operates at different electrical frequencies, called brain waves, each representing a different mental state. Beta waves, 13 to 30 Hz, are linked to alertness and logical thinking, the state most people are in when their minds are active and focused on everyday tasks. Alpha waves, 8 to 12 Hz, correspond to relaxation and creativity, the state you enter when you close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing ideas to flow freely. Theta waves, 4 to 7 Hz, are associated with deep meditation and intuition, where spontaneous insights occur as the conscious mind loses control and unconscious patterns emerge. Delta waves, 0.5 to 3 Hz, are the state of deep sleep and regeneration, where the body and mind undergo their most profound healing processes. Here's the interesting part. Breathing has the power to change your brain waves. Specific breathing techniques can slow down your mental activity and lead you into deep states where intuition and creativity emerge. When you're anxious, your breathing is fast and irregular, and your brain stays stuck in high beta waves, rushed, overloaded, and unclear. But when you breathe slowly and rhythmically, your brain reduces beta activity and shifts into alpha and theta states, where clarity, creativity, and inexplicable intuition begin to flow. What if I told you that some people have learned to use this to access abilities that seem almost superhuman? Tibetan monks, for example, can raise their body temperature in the middle of winter just by breathing. And practitioners of methods like Wim Hof's technique can endure extreme cold, control their immune system, and even change their blood chemistry. People who have mastered their breathing have entered states of consciousness so deep that they report out-of-body experiences, vivid memories of long-forgotten events, and the awakening of perceptual abilities that seem to defy logic. This isn't mysticism or superstition. It's simply the mechanics of the brain. It's the art of aligning the body and mind to tap into hidden parts of our potential. What if you could train your mind to tap into higher levels of awareness? What if you could easily access your subconscious, change limiting thought patterns, and unlock potentials you didn't even know existed? This isn't a special ability meant for only certain people. It's all about practice. But before we dive into the techniques, it's important to understand that what's hidden inside you doesn't need to be created. It just needs to be unlocked. Breathing is the key. Imagine a radio that can tune into different stations. If you don't turn the dial, it will only pick up one signal. Similarly, most people live their lives tuned only to the physical, logical world. A world that is predictable, structured, and rational. But there are other frequencies, other states, where time seems to slow down, insights come out of nowhere, and clarity appears from thin air. Anyone can access these states by learning to turn the dial, and breathing is the tool that helps you do it. Think about why some people seem to easily come up with brilliant ideas while others struggle with creative blocks, or why some people have sharp instincts and make spot-on decisions without even knowing how, while others remain confused and doubtful, or why some experience deep spiritual connections while others feel empty and disconnected. The answer is in the mental state they're operating from, a state that can be changed through breathing. The brain is highly flexible, meaning that by practicing specific breathing techniques, you can literally rewire your mind to function at a higher level. You can calm the mental noise, reduce anxiety, activate your intuition, and even change limiting beliefs. But it all starts with one key step: deciding to try. You don't have to believe it blindly. Just give it a try. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose, counting to 4. Hold it for a moment, then slowly exhale through your mouth, counting to 8. Repeat this 5 times and pay attention to what happens. Does your heart rate slow down? Does your mind quiet? Or do you feel a subtle clarity? Now, imagine what could happen if you practiced even more. What if you did 10 or 15 cycles, or explored other breathing techniques that are designed to shift your mental state? The world we live in is built on distractions. Society wants you to stay overloaded, stressed, and mentally scattered, because in that state, you're easier to control. You begin to depend on outside solutions, believing you need something beyond yourself to find clarity and power. But that's not true. True power has always been inside you. It wasn't taken away. It was just hidden. If you're reading this, it means part of you already knows there's something more, something beyond what you've been taught, and now you have the chance to tap into that potential. What we're about to do isn't theory, it's experience. The first technique you should learn is called 4-step rhythmic breathing. This method has been used for centuries in spiritual practices, meditation, and even by scientists studying how breathing affects the brain. It works because it creates a perfect balance between breathing in, holding, releasing, and pausing, which helps the body reach a state of neural coherence. In this state, your brain and nervous system work together smoothly. Here's how it works. Inhale through your nose while counting to 4. Hold your breath while counting to 4. Slowly exhale through your mouth while counting to 4. Hold your breath again with your lungs empty while counting to 4. Repeat this cycle. It may seem simple at first, but after doing it for a few minutes, you'll start to notice something different. Your body will relax, your mind will slow down, and you'll begin to feel a sense of clarity. With practice, this feeling deepens, and in that calm space, new insights might come to you. Let's go a step further. There's a point on your body that many spiritual traditions believe is key to unlocking heightened perception: the third eye, or the Ajna chakra, located between your eyebrows. Ancient texts say that stimulating this area can unlock deep intuition, perception beyond the usual senses, and a greater understanding of reality. And it's not just about spirituality, it's linked to neuroscience. The third eye is connected to the pineal gland, a small part of the brain that produces melatonin, serotonin, and possibly DMT, a substance linked to mystical experiences and altered states of consciousness. Here's the important part. Breathing can help activate this area. If you want to try it now, close your eyes and begin the 4-step rhythmic breathing. Focus on the space between your eyebrows as you inhale, and imagine a blue or violet light turning on at that spot with each breath. When you hold your breath, feel the energy build there. As you exhale, imagine that light spreading through your mind. Repeat this for a few minutes. You might feel a slight pressure, tingling, or warmth on your forehead, or even notice flashes of colors or images, or a deeper sense of presence. This isn't a coincidence. It's your brain reacting to the stimulation and activating areas that were previously inactive. Now think about this. If something as simple as adjusting your breathing can help you reach a clearer, deeper, and more perceptive mental state, imagine what else you could unlock with consistent practice. The secret is that the human mind isn't as limited as we've been led to believe. There are parts of your mind you've never explored, areas of your consciousness you've never accessed, and potentials you've always had, but never activated because no one taught you how. Breathing can help unlock that potential. Now that you've started to experience the effects of conscious breathing, it's time to take the next step. You've already noticed that controlling your breath helps calm your mind, expand your perception, and bring clarity. But this is just the beginning. Most people struggle with an imbalance between the logical and intuitive sides of their brain. The left side handles analytical, logical, and linear thinking, while the right side is responsible for creativity, intuition, and seeing the bigger picture. When these two sides don't work together, you can feel confused, struggle to focus, lack creativity, and sense that something is missing. But there's a technique that can bring balance to both sides of your brain and help you reach a state of mental harmony. Alternate nostril breathing. In yoga, this is called Nadi Shodhana, or the purification of energy channels. It's not just a spiritual practice. Studies show that it directly affects brain activity by balancing the brain's hemispheres, creating an ideal state for focus, creativity, and intuition. To do this, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and use your right thumb to close your right nostril. Inhale deeply through your left nostril, then close your left nostril with your ring finger. Open the right nostril and exhale through it. Then inhale through the right nostril, close it, and exhale through the left. That's one cycle. Repeat for a few minutes. At first, it might seem like you're just switching the air from one side to the other. But as you keep going, your mind will calm. You'll feel more present. And many people report experiencing clarity almost immediately, as if a mental fog is lifting. Think about this. If such a simple technique can make such a difference in just a few minutes, what might happen if you practiced regularly? The human brain is incredibly adaptable and responds to what you teach it. If you breathe in a chaotic way, your mind will stay chaotic. But if you breathe rhythmically, your mental state becomes clearer and more balanced. By training your breath to access deeper states, you can unlock new levels of perception that once felt out of reach. Plus, when you balance your brain hemispheres, you tap into hidden abilities. Your logical thinking sharpens, your creativity flows naturally, and your intuition becomes stronger. You'll start noticing patterns and finding answers before you even look for them. Most people spend their lives only using a small part of their potential, stuck on the surface of their minds, constantly distracted and overwhelmed, never accessing the deeper layers of their consciousness. But that can change the moment you decide to take control of your mental state. How many times have you held back tears, bottled up your anger, or pushed down feelings because you thought it wasn't the right time to express them? The problem is, these emotions don't just disappear. Instead, they get stuck, building up over time like blockages in your system, which limits your energy flow and affects your mental clarity, well-being, and even your ability to see new opportunities. But all of that can be released. There's a technique called connected breathing that helps release repressed emotions and free up trapped energy in the body. To practice it, lie down comfortably and close your eyes. Start breathing deeply and continuously, without pausing in between. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, without interruption. Keep this rhythm going for a few minutes and just notice what happens. At first, it may feel like intense breathing, but as you continue, you might feel a wave of heat moving through your body. Buried emotions starting to come up. A sudden cry, an unexpected laugh, or a deep sense of relief, like something long held is finally being released. This process isn't just emotional, it's physical. By breathing this way, you activate parts of your nervous system that are usually dormant, oxygenate your brain more deeply, and release hormones and chemicals that can instantly shift your state of mind. Essentially, instead of carrying the weight of the past with you, you can literally breathe through it and let it go. Now, think about what this could do for you if today you feel like something is holding you back, like there's an invisible weight keeping you down, or if your mind is constantly stuck in the same cycle of doubts and worries. It may not be about needing more effort, knowledge, or trying harder. It might be because there's something inside you that hasn't been released yet, and breathing is the key to unlocking it. The way you breathe impacts not only your body and emotions, but also how you see the world around you. Your view of reality is shaped by your brain, but your brain doesn't work alone. It reacts to signals in your body, electrical impulses, and your breathing patterns. When you change the way you breathe, you can change how your mind works, shift your brain waves, affect your body chemistry, and even reach altered states of consciousness. So, what does this mean in practice? It means there are ways of seeing the world that you haven't tapped into yet. You can literally expand your consciousness and perceive beyond what your senses usually allow. One powerful method to achieve this is holotropic breathing, which is used by psychologists, shamans, and spiritual seekers to access deeper parts of the mind, release hidden blockages, and even experience mystical states. To try holotropic breathing, find a quiet place, sit or lie down, close your eyes, and start breathing deeply and rapidly without pausing between your inhales and exhales to create a steady flow. Keep this up for at least 10 minutes. At first, it may feel like you're hyperventilating, but as you continue, you might feel your body vibrating, memories surfacing, energy flowing through you, or even feel like you're watching yourself from outside your body. This happens because you're filling your brain with oxygen, changing your internal chemistry, and activating areas of your mind that are usually dormant. Imagine being able to enter a state of complete mental clarity any time you want, where doubts disappear and you just know what to do. What if you could dissolve fear and anxiety not by thinking about it, but simply by adjusting your breath? What if you could feel a deep connection with yourself, where everything falls into place and you know you're exactly where you need to be? This isn't just a dream, it's already within you. Our bodies aren't just made of flesh and bone, we also have energy fields that constantly interact with the world around us. You've probably already noticed that certain places carry a heavy energy, or that some people give off a vibe without even saying anything. Maybe you've even had moments where you felt a deep connection, and answers seem to come from somewhere beyond logic. This is expanded perception, and breathing is the key to unlocking it. To enhance your sensitivity to this energy, try this. Close your eyes and take deep breaths through your nose. As you inhale, imagine you're taking in fresh, vibrant energy. As you exhale, picture releasing tension, heaviness, or any blockages. Next, focus on directing that energy to different parts of your body. Feel it traveling up your spine, lighting up each cell. Keep practicing for a few minutes and pay attention to what you feel. You might notice tingling, a light pulse, or even warmth in certain areas. This happens because your breath is moving energy, activating parts of your body that are usually dormant. Intuition isn't magical or random. It's simply the ability to sense subtle information that your rational mind often overlooks. When your energy is blocked, your intuition weakens. But as you open up these channels, your perceptions grow, and you start picking up on signals, sensations, and information you used to miss. Breathing has always been there, silently guiding every moment of your life. Now you know it's much more than a simple biological reflex. It's the key to unlocking your mind, body, and energy. Once you realize that you can change your inner state, tap into deeper intuition, and shift your experience of reality, there's no going back. The choice is yours. Continue breathing on autopilot, or use this simple but powerful tool to awaken what's always been inside you. Let me know what resonated with you most in the comments. See you next time.